Stop blading your chip shots over the green. It's embarrassing. Today, I'm going to show you how to hit them better and have more fun. In this challenging game, many people struggle the most with making solid contact. My name is John Gray, head golf professional at Native Oaks Golf Club and your host of the Gray Area. Let's get to it. So a few things to keep in mind when we're chipping and pitching, hitting our shots from around the green. We want to interact the club with the ground well. Okay, if we can do that, we're going to have good contact with the ball. Some people, a lot of people, they'll hit the ground first, right? They'll fat it, they'll chunk it. And then because they do that a couple times, they'll just start blading the ball across the green. I hear it frequently from my students. I'm hitting it too far, I'm hitting it too far. So the number one thing I like to work on, yes, is setup and fundamentals. But then beyond that, it's also how does the club actually interact with the ground? Right? What should it feel like? What should it do with the ground? Should the club even hit the ground? The answer is yes. Okay, the club should hit the ground. Sometimes it might even hit the ground a little bit before the ball, and that's okay. As long as we're using the club well, it's going to hit the ground, slide, and then hit the ball. Okay, so what I have here, I have two wedges with me. So I have my 58 and I have my 50. Now they have different bounces, which means when the club hits the ground, it's either going to dig easier or it's going to bounce off the ground a little bit easier. So if I'm in really firm conditions, right now out here, we're getting ready for overseed, so the conditions are a little firm. I can use my 58 that has a really low bounce on it, and the club's not gonna dig into the ground too much. I can hit a lot of different pitch shots with it, it's great. If the ground's a little softer, you know, I have my 54, and this time I brought out the 50. It has 12 degrees of bounce. The 58 has 4 degrees of bounce. It's a big difference. So if the ground's a little softer, I can pull out the 50 and I can still hit the ground relatively firm. And it's not gonna dig very much, if at all. That's gonna help me with the interaction with the ball, or turf to ground, the ball interaction. So when I'm looking right here, I've got a shot that's about 15 yards or so. I do want to pitch this one onto the green because it's not completely even in front of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 50-degree wedge, and what I want to do is I want to take a couple practice swings. My practice swings are aimed at the way that the club interacts with the ground. Okay, first off, it has to interact with the ground. I don't want to miss the ground. Okay, so normal chipping, I have my feet a little closer together. Ball is about middle-ish in the stance. Hands are a little bit in front of the club head, and my weight, maybe 60–65% of it's on my left foot. Okay, from here, I want the club to swing up and around me a little bit, and I want it to come back and interact with the ground, right? Probably see that one, actually a little bit of turf came up, but I didn't chunk it, right? There's not actually a divot, right? I didn't actually take some turf like this one. So I want, in my practice swing, I want to feel the club come back and actually glance off the ground, right? I want it to hit and bounce off the ground. If I can do that, I know I can hit a pretty good chip, okay? So I come up again, I have the ball about middle of the stance, maybe a tad back, but about middle of the stance, hands a little bit forward of the club head, about 60–65% of my weight on my left foot, my lead foot, and all I'm worried about is the interaction with the ground to hit the shot. Okay, I definitely hit the ground, might even hit just a little bit before the ball, but it came off great. Okay, good shot, that's the way I want it. If you take some of those tips, I think that's going to help you with your chipping and your pitching. We can get into more of it later, but that's a good start. Get out there, play some golf, practice, and have fun. We'll see you next time.